You need to sit down and say, okay, all these three things are affecting me. Which is affecting me the most? When you change your attitude, you'll see all the possibilities around you that you didn't see. Reflect from where you are coming from. Why are you in Saudi? Why are you in UAE?
Hello, welcome once again to the Missing Piece, a show that's meant for every lady who's working abroad, for every lady that is working in Arab countries. Today we are having an amazing person with us, Mr. Kirya Samuel. He's a psychologist and he's going to help us navigate different issues in our lives. He's going to help us know how we can handle certain issues. So we are going to dive right in. You're most welcome, Mr. Kirya.
Thank you very much, Rebecca.
Okay. Glad to have you on the show, and I'm excited because I know you're going to teach these ladies something that's going to be helpful to them.
We'll share something that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting right away, I would like to ask, what exactly is stress before we go anywhere else? What is stress?
That's a very interesting question. Anything that affects your normality in terms of your normal functioning, that will affect you physically, that will affect you emotionally and psychologically, can be looked at as stress or a stressing factor. So, if you are performing some tasks and you found that there's something that has affected you psychologically or has affected you emotionally, and you no longer feel comfortable, you no longer feel like you are enjoying your state of life, I could look at that simply as stress,
Okay.
as anything that is stressing you. Yes.
Thank you. So anything that affects you.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, I talk to a lot of ladies and they have that from the day they go, while they are there, and even before they go, they have stress is taking me, stress is this and that. I'm wondering, how can we help a lady who is in a house, who is already in Saudi Arabia, who has issues from home added on with issues in the house?
Mm-hmm.
So it's stress from home and stress within the house that she's working in, with the boss, the children, the visitors, the drivers, and everyone in the house.
Mm-hmm.
How can that person be helped?
First and foremost, when you were mentioning there are a number of issues that you need to recognize, some people are not really stressed, they are
Oh,
anxious, they are suffering from anxiety, others are fearful, they are having situations that cause them to be afraid. But everybody says, I am stressed, even when they are
so
not really looking at stress per se.
what you're trying to say is that there is something that happens
Mm-hmm.
before you get stressed.
True, very true.
So when you talk of anxiety, what exactly do you mean?
Now, I would like to imagine like somebody who is still in Uganda and needs to go and work in any of these Arab countries or any of those countries, has
Yeah.
been hearing so many stories, watching the TikTok uh, uh, clips, hearing stories on the media about how people go there and they suffer and they are made to go through this. So, because of that, you kind of feel like, is it possible that the same thing will happen to me? If it happens to me, how will I manage? How will I go through this? So they are anxious. That's where the anxiety comes from, because they don't have enough information, they don't have the knowledge, and
Okay.
probably they don't also have the skills in that particular environment that makes them not settled, not being settled. But many people say, I'm stressed, but it's a different kind of situation that they're having. But
Okay.
for specifically somebody who is already there
Mm.
and who is going through a particular situation,
Mm.
and this situation has brought a lot of pressure on them that they can manage, that they can deal with normally, then you could say, yes, they are probably suffering from stress. And
Mm.
for example, if you have gone there and you are being locked up, you are being mistreated, you're being denied food and being denied some basic human rights, then at that level you can say, yes, this person has moved from now the anxiety, they have become stressed
Stressed.
because of what is happening around them.
Mm.
Yes, please.
So I'm that person and I'm now in that situation. what could I do to probably overcome or to ease it?
So describe the situation you are in. You are now in a house in, for example, Saudi.
I'm in a house.
Mm-hmm.
I left my kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
The father that I thought would be paying for their fees
Mm-hmm.
has totally failed,
Yes.
and now it's up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm in the house where the boss or the lady is really mistreating me and very, very, very hostile towards me.
Mm-hmm.
The children, I'm in a situation where it's so hard in the house, and I'm at a point where I want to go back to the office, and the office is like the office where these girls go for help, and the office is like, you're not coming here. You stay there and work. So they feel like they need to change or to go out of that place. They can't. Meanwhile, they're thinking about the kids at home. Probably they're not even being paid. So there are a lot of things that are going on in this person's head. There are a lot of things that are going on in my head.
Very true.
So how can I deal with such a situation?
It's a very tricky situation where you are, in the sense that what do you have that you have control of? For example, do you have control over the kids that you left back home? Do you have control over the fact that the father is probably not paying school fees? Is there something you can do? So what I'm thinking of, you have a big chunk of bread, but instead of eating the whole loaf and putting it all in the mouth, take off manageable bites that you can chew. So look at what can I do, because all these are making your stress levels higher and harder for you to cope and harder for you to manage the current situation. What is making you feel so bad, is the fact that you have issues from home, you have issues from your office, the people who took you, and you have issues in the particular household where you are staying.
And now my mind is saying I should handle them all at once.
And
No,
that,
so when you talk of like taking a bite, I'm like, how can I take a bite of this? Let me deal with the family, and then issues are all around. I want to handle them all at once.
and that's where you're going to fail, and you are going to have a breakdown. And before you know that, you are going to become a case that needs real medication. So, but the advice that I'm giving is that at such a point, you cannot do everything at the same time. You need to sit down and say, okay, all these three things are affecting me. Which is affecting me the most? Which is the one that is really hitting me the most? Is it the issue of my kids who are seated at home and they are not going to school? So what can I do about such a situation? Okay, if the father is the one who is not handling, do I have a sister who I can communicate to, who can go and help? Such that instead of sending money to the father and he goes and he drinks it and maybe gets another wife, I'll be sending it to my young sister, I'll be sending it to my mother, the grandmother, or my father, the grandfather, who will take these children to school. That I can manage. It's within my control. So if I can handle that, my stress level will come down from a bad level where it is distress that is going to cause me to really become really sick, to a level that I can manage. Now, if that is managed and I've managed that, then I'm going to look at the remaining two aspects. What else can I manage? Can I manage the issue of communicating to the office? If they have said you have to remain there and they have decided I'm not shifting, what can I do? There's a lot for these young ladies that they can do within the house that can change their stay and how they are treated while in the house. And that's what I'm saying. They can do still something within the house that can cause the people in the house to start treating them a little better than they are being treated now.
So you're telling me to do something, meanwhile I'm already fed up. I don't even want to do anything. Even what they're asking me to do, I'm at a point where I just want to pack my things and leave. What else can I do?
That is a very challenging situation because you are putting yourself in grave danger. You are acting emotionally. And you see, the higher the emotionality, the lower the rationality. I'm asking that person who is in such a situation, I'm asking the person who is feeling so emotional, they are saying, I must leave, and the bosses are saying, you are not going anywhere, that your life is in grave danger at that time. Can you sit down? One of the things I want you to do is wherever you are, take a moment to sit down and reflect on your life. Reflect from where you are coming from. Why are you in Saudi? Why are you in UAE? Why are you in Oman in the first place? What brought you here? Yes, you probably expected that life would be simple, but the truth is life has become harder than you expected. Take a moment, sit down, calm down. Take a moment and calm down. And I want to tell you that all of us, usually, whichever aspect you come from, you have a connection with the divine. That time is very important for you to connect with the divine because you are losing it. You are literally losing it, and the boss can do anything to you, or you can do something to the boss which is irreversible. And we don't want you in that situation. So calm down, take a moment to be meditative, take a moment to get in touch with the divine and offer prayer to calm you down and to show you what are you going to do next in the next maybe hours and all that, instead of you acting out of impulse and throwing tantrums, because people react. Violence gives birth to violence. You'll be caught up in a vicious cycle of violence. You are now so violent, you are saying, I'm leaving, and you are smashing things. They are going to hit you, they are going to beat you, they are going to do something to you which will be irreversible, and we don't want you to be in that situation.
Wow. That's so powerful, and I feel if someone takes it in, it can really help that person. I want us to go to this one person, this one individual who had a lot of hope in Saudi money, in Oman money, who thought that when I go to this country, my life is going to change. When we train them, we usually do budgets. They budget that within 2 years, I would have made this and this, I would have accomplished this and that. And then it happens that they've gone, and within only 2 months, they are told to come back. Now that's something so huge for them to handle. Remember, they already have expectations of what they are going to do, and then it has failed. How can that person manage their selves? How can they deal with themselves?
Now, I'm not so sure whether you are talking of you who trains them or they who are already in that situation, because I see that there is something here that is
the person who is already in the situation.
The person who is in the situation. Again, you are going back to the objectives. What was their goal plan? When they were going, what was it that they wanted to achieve? Unfortunately, many of the people do not have a reality check. The reality check is that if you go to a certain place, there are environmental factors that are going to affect you. There are factors within your work environment that are going to affect you. And so the resilience, how tough are you to manage this, is something that within the training, I think you need to emphasize that where you are going is not a bed of roses, but you're choosing to go to a place. It's like you're choosing between, when you're driving on the road, which pothole do I fall in when I'm driving? You had a bad situation here in Uganda. Economically, you are going nowhere, and you decided to go to where you thought it was easy. But that money, it's bloody. It is sweating blood to get it. You are going to have a difficult time. If you don't have what it takes, you'd rather remain here. So I think the people who are doing the training should help these girls and these women to know that where you are going, it is very tough. You are going to have a lot of loneliness. Here you had a lot of, we call it in our language, psychosocial support system. You have your family, they are always around you and all that. You can go to Becky even when you've not eaten, and she gives you something to eat. You're going to have a place where nobody is considerate. So you need to be mindful. Do you still want to go? So toughening them upstairs is one of the things that will help them when in that situation. Now, for those who are already in the situation and they are falling apart, and they have nothing to do, you have nothing to do except bring them back home, because they can commit suicide, they can go into depression, they can have all sorts of mental issues that will cause them even greater problems. So in that aspect, when you reach a point that you have reached the very end and you can't see any other way out, even the divine cannot help you to see a way out, my advice would be bring that person back home, because what is going to happen is going to be downhill from there.
So to that person who's coming back, she's now devastated. She's hoping, I thought I would have a land, I thought I would no longer be renting, I thought I would have my own place to stay, and now she's coming back still to live the same life.
Yes, but it's not just the same life. What resources has she picked up since she went? What has she learned in this whole process? You see, this person is not the same person who left 2-3 months ago. This person has got exposure. Even just the flying, even entering into the airport has given this person an awakening, a certain exposure that when I go back, I'm going to realize something. Let me give you an example. I've had somebody who went in and was working up to 3 a.m. the whole day, up to 3 a.m. That shows you that I, who goes to sleep here at 10, I need to say, what can I do if I've been able to do this and sleep at 3? If I bring that same strong work ethics back here at home and start putting in the same energy that those people were putting on me, how far can it take me? So in less than 2 years, that person would have actually achieved their goals better than if they had remained there. If they decided to come back and they said, let's use the lessons we've learned of going through that hardship and suffering and bring them back home here.
I'm looking at myself, Becky, back in the days. If I was to come back, I wouldn't see anything besides the luck that I'm having.
Very true.
That I went, all I wanted was money. I didn't want any exposure. I didn't want anything. I wanted money. And now it failed.
Now you're asking me another step that is important. You as an organization that is taking people, can you get in touch with professionals that when these people come, we do what we call debriefing. We sit down with them. We help them to deal with the trauma. Because they have been traumatized. Some of them are beaten, some of them are burned, some of them are tortured, some of them are sexually abused. So I'm asking for your organization and any other organization, engage professionals to help these people. Engage them to get rid of all that bad stuff that has been bottled up, their disappointment, their frustration. Because when I engage with you, Becky, for example, I will be able to help you to see some good in the pain that you've gone through. But now at this moment as alone, you can't see it. You're not objective enough to see, I've gained a lot from my suffering and from what I did. But if I sat down with you, trust me, in a session, we will work out a plan that will show you that, okay, fine, you've come back 2 months less of the 24 months. So you've worked only 2 out of the 24. You've left 22 months. But when you come back here now, what can we do with what you have that can build up and you compensate and you will actually end up like you have been there for the whole 2 years? So this is what the approach I'd look at.
Am I the only one who's benefiting from this, or everyone is benefiting? I'm just taking away this, that regardless of what happens, regardless of what you go through, or regardless of what can happen, you can always have a comeback.
Yes.
You can always have a comeback. And I'm feeling that, can't I do it alone? Because I'm trying to see myself, I can't reach out to that organization. Or if I have to reach out to that organization, if I have to come to you, I have to pay some money.
True.
So I'm wondering, can I do something for myself without injecting in any money?
Can you be objective enough to distance your emotionality from your rationality? You're already annoyed, you're already frustrated, you feel like I was supposed to come back having bought this piece of land, built this, I haven't. Can you still remain objective to see that I gained a lot of wealth of information and knowledge and attitude change? Because your attitude, when you change your attitude, you'll see all the possibilities around you that you didn't see. And this is what I'm looking at. So if you can, yes. But if you can't, then what you need to do is to make sure engage more on the shows like these and give people more skills, give them more things that they can do. But yes, you can't still do away without getting a professional. At a particular time, you'll need a profession to deal with all the emotional baggage that you are carrying and all the pain that you are carrying. Because, Becky, you are going to come back and you find that your husband has got another woman. And he has another, and that is another problem. You thought you came from there, you had problems. You'll find that your family is completely dysfunctional.
Now there are
here.
more problems.
There are more problems. So I really think you need help. Yes.
So I'm so grateful. I
Thank
should
you.
say we are very grateful.
Thank you.
Could you have any last word for the ladies that are abroad?
The ladies that are abroad, that are working abroad, I could say that it is tough. It's very tough. Very tough because you are working in a culture that does not put great respect and emphasis on one, a woman, two, a black woman. being black is also a problem.
Sure,
And so,
sure.
so in that aspect, you are actually at a great disadvantage. They see us a little better than the chimpanzees and a little smarter, but they don't see us as equals to them in terms of thinking and all that. So, for all purposes and matters of intent, you are slightly better than a slave, or at worst, you are actually a slave. But now that you're in such a situation, I would like for you to try to see that you get into your inner self, to connect with the divine. The divine will help you to go through all the dark spots in your life. You need to get a better approach. When you are mad and you're throwing a tantrum and you're doing work without being happy and all that, it's going to cause the other people to react to the violence that they see in you, which could be verbal. Even the way I respond as I talk to you as my boss, how I do my job, will cause you either to treat me better or worse.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is, get down and calm down, and remember the moments when you were a kid that parents used to tell us to do certain things we didn't want to do, but we had to do them. And you had to do it when you didn't put on a long face and unhappy face. You had to go. So get into a prayer mode, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, whether you are what. Get into a prayer mode for that calmness, that inner peace, to have the resilience to manage and say, I'm going to go through this. I left a bad situation at home. I don't need to go back when I'm a failure. I need to do the best I can. But if that fails, I am happy that organizations are now being held more accountable. Reach out to the organization, and yes, we can even give online help to those people that are going through that moment. If you are feeling suicidal, you're so depressed, we can do some online help. There are organizations that do online help to help you to go through that situation, and by, you'll become stronger and you'll survive, and you'll find that you actually can make it. Yes.
Thank you so much. I hope that you benefited. I hope that something helped you, and I hope that something that has been a load on you is at least weighing down. It's at least leaving it. If it has been killing you, you're getting better. I do believe that.
I hope so.
Believe that.
I hope so.
So we are thankful. We are very grateful, and we hope we can have you again one more time.
No problem. I don't see why you don't invite me to your organization and I talk to some of those ladies. Even those who come back, I would actually suggest that those who come back, before they get back to integrate into society, they need a little bit of professional help, because where they are coming is not also a bed of roses.
Sure.
They are going to find a lot of disappointment. You sent money to build this, they chewed your money, you left your husband thinking, you find him with a set of twins. And so you come and you find total chaos here, and you are back in this vicious cycle of what you left 2-3 years ago. So people need help. My suggestion is, let's reach out for professional help to help us to deal with a lot of the things that are happening.
We are so thankful. I think we can't end this, but we have to come to an end. We are so grateful.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again, and
Please.
hope to talk to the ladies once again. Have a lovely day, and thanks for watching The Missing Piece. We hope this piece has added something